Many drivers have already expressed disappointment over the widely expected loss of the Belgian Grand Prix. This year's race at Spa-Francorchamps will be the first after F1 summer break, by which point the event's future may already be known. Excitement for this year's race, following the one-lap washout of the 2021 edition, is coupled with uncertainty over whether it will be the last to be held at Spa for the foreseeable future. When Lando Norris, who has Belgian heritage on his mother's side, was asked at the French Grand Prix if he would prefer to keep the Belgian or French round at Paul Ricard on the 2023 calendar, it was an easy call for the McLaren driver. Spa. Easy, he said. My mum's from Belgium, so I'm 50% Flemish. It's as much a home race for me as it is in Silverstone in a way. I personally have a lot more connections to it, of course, and I love the track and so on. I grew up a lot of the time, or I grew up for many years, going to Belgium and spending a lot of my time there with my family. The 7-kilometre circuit has undergone extensive work to improve safety following multiple serious and fatal accidents at the venue, most notably at the famous sequence spanning the ultra-fast Eau Rouge and Raidillon corners. Several iconic corners, such as Raidillon, have been reprofiled, with gravel traps returned to various places around the circuit. Norris said he was excited to have the opportunity to race at the revised track. Some changes, some bits have been resurfaced and so on, he said. Nice new grandstand at Raidillon. I always look forward to Spa. It's one of the coolest circuits of the whole season. I'll be sad to lose Spa. A lot of things are just about money nowadays, which is the issue. It's a business. Norris questioned why a circuit so historically significant to Formula One as Spa has its place on the calendar under threat, while other venues with just as strong a heritage do not appear to be in question. It's a shame, he continued, but it's a historic race for F1, same as Monaco. For what I know, they don't even pay and it's still on the calendar. Same with like Monza and stuff, so I feel like it should always be on for as long as Formula One's around. Sergio Perez said it would be a big shame to lose Spa from the calendar, while Sebastian Vettel agreed, describing the undulating track in the Ardennes mountain as amazing. At the Hungarian Grand Prix, AlphaTauri's Pierre Gasly expressed hope the race's absence of the calendar will only prove temporary. I don't personally think that this has anything to relate with the changes or to improve safety, he said, of the reason behind its potential F1 exit. But I can't believe Spa is going to be out of the calendar for years. It definitely deserves its place on the calendar. Personally, it's probably my favourite track. It's just an amazing track to race on, an amazing track to drive on. We'll see what happens, but I believe it's going to stay and we're going to still go there for quite a few more years. Sebastian Vettel made a fervent defence of having a Belgian Grand Prix on the F1 calendar, and should Spa-Francorchamps lose its place, it could be wrong on so many levels. Vettel, 3 times a winner around Spa in the past, compared the uniqueness of the high-speed circuit to the newer tracks on the Formula One calendar, which he says certain drivers do not enjoy in the same way due to the similarity of their characteristics. There is the prospect of rotating its place on the calendar with the also under threat French Grand Prix, but keeping Spa would be a significant priority for the 4-time world champion. Spa is a great circuit. I don't know any driver who doesn't like Spa, Vettel said, per the German edition of motorsport.com. On the other hand, I know drivers who don't like the circuit in Russia. Not because it's Russia, but because the tracks are all similar. I don't have a say here, but Spa would have my vote. It would be wrong on so many levels to lose Spa. Max Verstappen agreed separately with Vettel's sentiment, previously saying that the circuit should stay on the calendar forever. And with significant changes having been made at Eau Rouge and Raidillon to make the track safer, that improves the cause further for it to stay on the schedule. He admitted that the expansion of the calendar into farther-flung parts of the world, including 2 new races in America through Miami and Las Vegas, makes it trickier to fit some of the classics in every year, and it may not be realistic to do so. It would be a big shame to lose Spa, he said. It's my favourite track in the world, and also with the recent changes they did to the runoff and stuff. Yeah, I think it's just an amazing track in a Formula One car. Any car, to be honest. With all the high-speed corners and the flow it has in general. And yeah, there are so many tracks out there in the world where I think it would be nice to have a Formula One race, but somehow just simply not really realistic. The growing number of venues seeking a place on next year's schedule is pushing F1 close to its agreed limit of 24 races. The addition, a new street race in Las Vegas, F1's third round in the USA, has added to the congestion on its calendar. Las Vegas is the latest in a series of new street venues to join the schedule, including Miami and Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Verstappen is concerned by the growing trend towards temporary tracks. "I don't want to see myself in 2028 or whatever driving only on street circuits close to the city just for the fan engagement or whatever," he said, "because you need those kinds of iconic tracks on the calendar. Of course, I understand everyone wants to make money, but there is also a limit to that because it's important to keep these really cool circuits on the calendar instead of just driving on street circuits, which I think F1 cars are not designed for anyway." The contract between Spa-Francorchamps and Formula One expires this year, and no new contract has been signed yet. Rumours say that the future of the circuit in F1 is anything but certain. Both the government of Wallonia and the federal government of Belgium are now interfering in the negotiations. The negotiations between Formula One and the Belgian circuit have been going on for some time. The contract of Spa expires this year, as do the contracts of Le Castellet in France and those of Monaco. The European numbers on the calendar seem to have to make way for the new additions in the Middle East and the United States. The Walloon and federal governments have jointly confirmed their support for Spa-Francorchamps in a letter to Formula One, writes the Belgian Nieuwsblad.be. According to Economy Minister Willy Borsus, a meeting was held last Tuesday between representatives of the circuit, the GP organisation, F1 management and the region. Meanwhile, ahead of Spa, there will be a new driver on show. Carlin's Liam Lawson is going to be taking the AlphaTauri seat for the FP1 session in Spa. The Kiwi driver has been granted the opportunity to drive the AlphaTauri by team boss Franz Tost, following the Hungarian Grand Prix, who told the media, "We plan to run Liam Lawson in FP1 in Spa." Lawson is the second Red Bull Junior driver to be given a Formula One debut this year, along with Yuri Vips in Spain. This is because new F1 rules state that each team must give two rookies the opportunity to drive a practice session. It is unclear as to whether Lawson will be taking Yuki Tsunoda or Pierre Gasly's seat, but one of the AlphaTauri drivers will be stepping aside for the young Kiwi. Formula One has found itself in a lot of drama thanks to Oscar Piastri's situation with Alpine. Liam Lawson could cause even more upsets if he impresses teams in his practice session. With all the uncertainty for the F1 grid next season, Lawson may be able to persuade teams that he is ready for F1. As both Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda have been under pressure this season with poor performances, Lawson could be hoping for a permanent AlphaTauri drive. Outside of AlphaTauri, many teams have yet to confirm their driver pairings next year. Alpine, McLaren, Haas and Williams have all been rumoured to change their drivers next season. This means that there may be many chances for drivers like Liam Lawson to break into Formula One. The newly appointed Red Bull reserve driver is currently 8th in the Formula 2 standings. He has gained 88 points in 10 races so far, winning 2 sprint races and 1 feature race. Lawson has also gained 2 other podiums, making it 5 in total. The 20-year-old may not be performing to the same level as highly rated teammate Logan Sargent, but he is doing well for his second season in F2. Lawson has already tested for AlphaTauri in 2021. In a YouTube video from AlphaTauri, he described the test day as a very, very cool experience. He also called the test day a dream come true. With his experience in an F1 car and his time in Formula 2, Lawson could be looking to show the paddock that he has what it takes to drive in Formula 1. With that, the teams and drivers will be keeping a wary eye on the New Zealander's progress. The Formula 1 season returns after the summer break with the Belgian Grand Prix at the famous Spa-Francorchamps circuit, with Max Verstappen 80 points clear of Charles Leclerc in the standings. The 2021 world champion has won 8 of the opening 13 races this season, the latest coming at the Hungarian Grand Prix.